Oh, I know that sound. It's time for the Beer News Report. Hi, and welcome to the Beer News Report. Cheers. This is part 2 of the Life Extension show. In part 1, I explained how researchers, and I focused on Aubrey de Grey, are developing drugs and bacteria to combat the effects of aging. Diseases like Parkinson's or arterial sclerosis, it's hard to say, have treatments that are being discovered right now. So in the near future, we should be able to live past 120, even 130, and possibly 150. And as these researchers keep developing new cures, we may actually live to 200 or 300 years old. But what are the consequences if this happens? Well, that's my topic for today's show, so let's get started. Cheers. Okay, let's say the technology exists for you to live to 150 years old. Would you do it? Well, if I could assume that I could live on my own in relatively good health, being able to walk, talk, feed myself, then yes, I wouldn't mind doing it. Right? I basically want to be able to live independent, right like I'm living now. There is one concern I have, though. Would my friends and family also be around to 150? Currently, there's an age wall at about 120 years old. It's rare that anyone lives past 120. So if all my brothers and sisters are dead and all my current friends are dead, then I don't know. Because trying to make new friends at 120, that doesn't sound like the easiest thing to do. Having a Tinder account isn't going to help. I'm 120. Even Viagra isn't going to work at that age, I think. Cheers. Then there's Social Security and Medicare. How are these programs going to stay solvent? If everyone starts living past 120 and all the way up to 150, and let's say they retired at 65 or even 70, that's 80 years on these programs. There's no way the government can afford that. They're going to have to put limits or set a flat rate, or taxes are going to have to go way up. Or they may have a life extension clause, saying that if you're on these drugs or if you've had a life extending procedure, then you can't retire until 100 or some higher age because 70 is too young. Also, I can see where the government will state that the life extending drugs or procedures, they're not covered under Medicare, right? Why would they pay you to stay on Social Security or Medicare longer? That would just be shooting yourself in the foot. But the government, if they're not going to pay for it, then the insurance companies surely are going to balk too. They're going to say, hey, wait a minute. Why do we have to pay for something that you're not even paying for? Plus, these new drugs, they're not cheap. They're never cheap. Look at all the drugs that are being designed now for specific purposes. They cost thousands and thousands of dollars. Even a drug that's been around forever, like insulin, is now up to $300 or more. And I pity the person who has to take Libera because that costs over $1 million a year. So if these life-extending drugs are going to cost over $1 million and your insurance won't cover it, then most likely the average person like me and you, we won't be able to get our life extended. That privilege is going to fall to the wealthy and powerful people. So, people like Jeff Bezos, the founder of Amazon, and Bill Gates, the founder of Microsoft, and Warren Buffett, the founder of Berkshire Hathaway, they can easily afford it. Powerful people like our president, all of Congress, and even foreign leaders like Vladimir Putin, they'll be able to get it because look at the position they're in. Also the military, like a general or an admiral, they'll get it because they're at a high level. And kind of makes sense that their families are going to get it, right? There'll be a backdoor for their friends to get it. So all these people will be able to get it. But let's think about this. Rich people know how to make money. That's how they got rich, or they inherited it. But if you know how to make money and you're going to live longer, isn't that going to make you even richer? This is Bill, and Bill is a billionaire. He runs an investment firm called Billion Angels because he's a billionaire and an angel investor. Bill decides to get life extension therapy. So he goes to the hospital to see what packages they have to offer. He meets with a counselor from the YB Old Company, a subsidiary of the hospital, who explains the options to Bill. Bill opts for the full package, which not only extends his life, but makes him look younger too. The doctor does one last check to make sure Bill is fit to do the procedure. Once he passes, the procedure will begin. The doctor begins the procedure on Bill. As time passes, he gets younger and younger. The procedure was a success. Bill looks and feels like he's 30 again. Even the doctor is impressed at how well the procedure went. When Bill gets back to the office, he immediately changes the name of the company to Billion Young Angels and is happy to see that he can write off the whole procedure as a company expense as part of the Key Man insurance policy. So if you think about it, someone like Warren Buffett, who's an expert at investing money, if he has his life extended for another 50 years, how much more money will he make? He could possibly become the first trillionaire. Whoa, wouldn't that be cool? Cheers. I mean, what about someone who doesn't invest but they build businesses? Okay, how about someone like Elon Musk? Now, currently he's running Tesla, which not only makes electric cars, but also the batteries they run on. But wait, folks, there's more. Tesla also produces solar panels that look like roof shingles. But wait, folks, there's more. Once you produce that solar power, you need to store it. Tesla also makes the Powerwall. These are home electric power storage units for when PG&E has to cut your power due to possible fires or from storms. But wait, folks, there's even more. Did someone say PG&E? They have a proposal for Tesla's power storage systems for their own power storage. Yes, Tesla makes commercial-grade electric power storage systems. I mean, that's pretty amazing. But wait, folks, there's more. Some people don't like cars. And for those folks, Tesla makes an electric truck. Yes, this futuristic vehicle is a pickup truck, and due to its electric motor, it has more torque and drive power than gasoline trucks. Holy cow, they do everything. But wait, folks, there's more. For those of you who drive semi-trucks, Tesla also makes an 18-wheeler. And yes, they are 100% fully electric. Great for short hauls up to 500 miles. Is that all? Well, folks, because you're special, Tesla is giving everyone their autopilot system. Yes, for your car, pickup truck, and even the semi, Tesla Autopilot comes for free. Don't know how to parallel park? No problem. Tesla Autopilot will do it for you. Tesla, because you deserve a break today. Wait, no, that's a McDonald's tagline. Okay, Tesla, have it your way. What? No, wait, that's Burger King. Okay. Tesla, just do it. Oh, no, that one's taken too? Fine, how about this one? Tesla, do you have to freaking ask? Nobody's got that one? All right, I'll let Elon know. Cheers. But wait, folks, there's even more. Because Elon Musk has SpaceX. Yeah, the rocket company that's going to put people on Mars. He's currently bringing people to the space station right now. But wait, folks, there's even more because Elon Musk has the Boring Company. This is a company that builds tunnels, and he's in talks with Las Vegas and LA for tunnels to airports and ways around traffic. Is that all? But wait, folks, there's more. Elon Musk has had some extra time on his hands, so he built Neuralink. This is a company designed to help our brains connect with artificial intelligence. Right now, it's being used to help people with Parkinson's. Is there anything else? Yes, folks, there is more. In his early years, he built Zip2 and PayPal, but he sold those companies. And he also gave the idea of a Hyperloop. This is a super fast form of transportation. There are a number of companies developing this technology, and although Elon doesn't have time to help in the development, he does keep up with the technology. Okay, so now imagine if Elon was going to live to 150 in good health, right? How many more companies would he bring into existence? I mean, he's an entrepreneur. I mean, think of all the other entrepreneurs or philanthropists out there. If they lived extra long, how much good they could do. And think of our government, right? The Supreme Court justices, Ruth Bader Ginsburg, she could live up to 150. Or Brett Kavanaugh, he's only 55. He could live to 150. That's almost 100 years he'd be on the bench. Yeah, that's right. You have to take the good with the bad. I mean, think about it. North Korea, that leader, Kim Jong-un, he's also going to get life extension treatment. Now, let's be clear. Let's say that you're in the mafia, and since you have tons of money, you can get the treatment for you and your family or whatever. You still can't live through a bullet through your head, right? If someone puts you in cement boots and throws you in the ocean, with or without life extension treatment, you're going to die. And for the rest of us, if you drive drunk and hit a tree, or you suffer from severe depression and you commit suicide, life extension will not prevent those deaths. All right? You still have to take care of yourselves. This isn't going to make you immortal. Cheers. Now it's time to look at the other side of the coin. If they figure out how to make people live longer, they should be able to make people live shorter or less. But don't we already have that? Isn't that called the death penalty? Well, I'm not talking about ending your life. I'm talking about shortening your life or making you age faster. With this in mind, what could happen to our current prison system? Imagine you committed a crime and you get a jail sentence of 10 years. Right now, you'd have to go to jail and serve that 10 years. But with this technology, they could just send you into a processing station and you get the 10 years removed from your life. Now, what if you get a life sentence? Well, that's different, right? Each state, probably would set a maximum of 50 years removed, right? And then you'd be sent to jail. You still have to go to jail because it's a life sentence. So, I mean, if you're 30 and you commit a crime and get a life sentence, you get processed, you get 50 years taken out of you, and now you're 80 and they send you to jail. Well, what do you think? Will the government go for it? I'll give you a second to think about it. Cheers. I did a little research and I would say yes, the government would most likely be in favor of this because they would save them a ton of money. And that's because most of the criminals wouldn't have to be kept in jails. The only ones with a life sentence, which is less than 10%, they're the ones that would stay in prison. From a report from the Department of Education, states that the U.S. spends over $80 billion each year for incarcerations. By doing life reduction therapy and keeping everyone but the life termers out of jail, they would roughly save about $72 billion. You know the government's going to seriously consider this. By the way, you're wondering why the Department of Education did this report? It's because they found out that the government is spending more money on prisons than on education, and they're kind of pissed off. So how does this work? What happens when someone commits a crime and doesn't get a life sentence, right? Well, I made a cartoon on this subject, and it's as good a time as any to show it, so cheers. This is Jack, your average guy in his late teens. He's taking a programming course at an online college. He likes to play basketball, and of course, he's growing a beanstalk. I mean, come on, his name is Jack. But now he's very motivated to improve his body, so he lifts weights and he takes steroids, just like all the other muscle-bound dudes. But why does he do this? Obviously, for a girl, Consuela drives Jack crazy as he vies for her attention. Here he is, walking the beach like any normal person would, in a suit and a bow tie. As he walks by, he says, "Looking good." She gives him a funny look and says thanks, then pulls her Gucci sunglasses from her Louis Vuitton purse. Jack knows to make Consuela happy, he needs money now. So he holds up the local neighborhood store and steals $327 in a Diet Coke. Jack gets caught by the police and is sentenced to jail. Yes, this is his dad, the cop that brought him to prison. He got married at a young age. Jack opts for the life reduction therapy while they will remove 10 years of his life. This is a prison clinic, and this is the same doctor that was treating Michael Jackson. Yes, he's still a doctor, but he works at the prison clinic now. Unfortunately, Jack never learned his lesson and committed more crimes over the years. Even though Jack's birth age is in the early 20s, his body age is the late 50s. The procedure went great, says the doctor. As Jack leaves the state prison, his dad gives him a big hug and says, "I think it's time for you to settle down and give your mom and I some kids. You're not getting any younger." So life reduction therapy might make the punishment for committing a crime seem easy, but proponents of it will say that it's a more humane way of punishing the criminals. But really, it's a way to get rid of the poor. I mean, if a rich person commits a crime and they get life reduction therapy, he or she afterwards can go get life extension therapy and counter those effects. So really, nothing changes for them, and they basically got away with committing a crime. And also, this brings new meaning to being a political prisoner, right? You wrote something bad about the government, and now you're going to jail, but instead they zap 20 years out of you. I mean, maybe this won't happen in the U.S., but I'm sure this technology will be used worldwide. Can you think of any country that puts people in jail for talking bad about their government? Yeah, there's tons of them. All right, I keep talking about jails and government, but what if this procedure can be done by just taking some pills? And then the black market opens up, and kids are going to get these drugs off the dark net. And then, right, you grind these pills up and you add it to Mike's lunch because he looks goofy and you don't like his Facebook page. Next thing Mike knows, he's aged 20 years going through high school. Then at graduation, he's the only one with gray hair, a full beard, and body hair like Austin Powers. Think about the consequences. Cheers. Well, as you can see, my beer's almost empty. So that means we're at the end of the show. I hope I piqued your interest and maybe you opened your eyes to looking at something that seems to be very good, right? Extending life, but could have bad consequences. Let me know what you think by emailing me at this email address. Please like the show by clicking the thumbs up icon right below this video. And if you want to be notified of upcoming shows, you can click on the subscribe button. Then when I upload a new show, YouTube will notify you. As always, keep your beer cold and your interests hot. Cheers.